Mike, what are we seeing there? Well, Jesse, as anticipated, the sirens are now wailing over Tel Aviv, indicating that another missile is inbound. And it looks like those bright lights in the sky are the missiles. And it looks like you can see an interceptor that is in hot pursuit of the missiles. And it's always quite dramatic when you see those interceptors going after it. And these ones might disappear behind our building here, and we're going to lose sight of them. But they're still quite lethal and coming into Tel Aviv. And I didn't see an interception in this case. Should be able to hear it in a second or so. And it's still quite lethal. Second. But we saw two lights in the sky. There. And there was another flash off in the distance here. So there was quite a big explosion. So that sounded like more of a conventional warhead that got through. I can't really tell you if that was an impact.
Welcome back to another episode of Slightly Offensive Pilot Month, all of April, where we are in Holy Week for the Orthodox season. Remember, if you had to work on Sunday, I got stabbed in the hand. We won't talk about this, very deeply in the hand. And I told all the nurses, you can go back to Easter next weekend on Saturday night, technically, because that's the real Easter, where the Christians celebrate, not the egg Easter, get your eggs and hide them because nobody's safe now. Joining me in the studio today is, on a solo episode, my producer, resident Georgie. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's a big show today. Looking forward to it.
It is a big show. You know, MSNBC had some interesting words today as Trump made a big threat. He said that he was going to erase the Persian civilization. And what I've noticed from history is that when it comes to two civilizations, the Persians and the Jews, they cannot be defeated. Listen.
This is evil. He has gone insane. Our president is not a Christian. There has never been the slightest evidence that Donald Trump is, in any real sense, a Christian. There's nothing religious about him. He never goes to church. He didn't go to church yesterday on Easter. There's never been the slightest evidence that Donald Trump comprehends any of the teachings of Jesus. He certainly never heard the part about turn the other cheek.
All right. Shut up, Jew media. Listen, I don't want to hear people talk about Trump's religion who don't follow Christianity. It's always the atheists. It's always, like, I notice this myself too, right? The people that are the first to throw the first stones are the ones that don't even believe in Jesus. Like, did Jesus want this? Buddy, you don't believe in Christ, okay? You work for people who believe that Jesus is burning in shit and semen, and it feels sacrilegious saying that, but that's the world that we live in. We had another episode, big show today, great show today, fantastic show today. In fact, it's almost the perfect show. We have a guest in the studio. I told you guys this is the final era of Slightly Offensive, and joining us today is, of course, back from Blaze TV Studios, fresh from the Cheeto Dust Bowl. We have blue-haired feminist. Welcome back.
Hey, everyone. It's so good to be back. You know, I got a nose ring. I took it out for the show. How you feel about that?
Wow, that's pretty cool. Good to hear about that. That's interesting. Why are you back here? I feel like this is weird. We're in war. This is a very serious war. We got extremely competent commentators like Cat Turd and Gunther Eagleman talking. Why are you back? Let me hear from you here.
Well, I mean, I'm back here because, well, you know, we didn't get the OnlyFans. We did not get the OnlyFans back in Tehran, and then we never got the gay bars and stuff. So the guys are not fucking each other. So it's not exactly a victory.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, she won't be around much tonight. That's totally offensive. Absolutely horrible. That's not good. It's not good at all. All right, what you just saw is something kind of crazy. Guys, we are in a very interesting moment in history. You know, everybody knows I'm a little bit establishment, right? It's kind of like when you're a free spirit, but you still live at your mom's house. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you got nose piercings and tattoos, you're having orgies, and then you go home and it's like, Mom, can I go out tonight? That's kind of me, right? I'm still connected. Now, I got fired from the Republican lobby, got fired from Influenceable, got fired from a lot of partnerships, all because a gay Jew told them to. But that kind of freed us now. Because we're going to talk about the reality of what's happening tonight. A lot of people are going to be lying to you over the next 24 hours, 72 hours. I'm going to come out and say it. I'm going to say it true and say it real here. We technically had our first defeat in over 38 wars, as I've mentioned. We defeated Iran 38 times in the last 12 weeks. And we have now won, I guess, for the last time. Because there was a 10-point plan presented by Iran. And I had someone from Peter Thiel's camp, who I love very much, by the way. I've never mentioned who it is. I love you, dude. You're one of my good friends. He's very mad at me right now. Very, very catty about it. But he told me, he was like, see, I told you we would win. And I was like, I think this is called losing. The closest thing to victory that this is with Iran is like winning a fight with a woman. You know what I mean? It's like, no one threw a plate at me tonight, so I won. But did you? Because you're still on the couch. Lucky if you're even home tonight. That's how I feel. Let's get into this. We got a great story for you guys to talk about. So Trump threatened today, I'm going to bring this up here. He threatened to take out the civilization of Iran. And that's pretty remarkable because Iran is a very, very big country, 93 million people, millions of Christians as well. And it's not as oppressed as people claim it is. And no, I am not an Iran supporter. I'm not an Iran defender. But when you look at this clip, I'm going to you can put on the screen, by the way, with mute for a second. We can just play this as background. You put me on the screen here. So what you see here is this is like an average center in Iran. Iran is actually much less oppressive than Saudi Arabia. I want to clear the record here. Iran, in terms of caliphates and Iran and Muslim strongholds, is possibly the most liberal country of any country in the Islamic Caliphate. Now, neocons, which have predominantly come to power post-Cold War in 1995 when Netanyahu addressed the United Nations, calling for the bombing, we had an individual named Pat Buchanan. You might remember him from the 90s, early 2000s. Now, Pat Buchanan came out against Donald Rumsfeld and Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, and surprisingly, eventually George Bush, saying, look, these people want a war with Iran. And he warned us in an op-ed that was a 200 and something page book called Where the Right Went Wrong. We've read it as a group together, and we're going to start a book club back up too, because finally I'm in charge of this. And we don't have e-girls here anymore. Let's get some air horns. No more e-girls. Not even once, unless it's at CPAC, but then it's twice. But here's the deal. So he basically said, look, ultimately this military industrial complex, which is the unholy trinity between neocon evangelicals, the evangelical Christian church, and Zionist Jews, which are all the same thing, they want to take out Iran. They have very different reasons why, but ultimately it's all about ushering in the third temple, right? You have the final building of the satanic temple of post-Solomonic Judaism, which is Talmudic Judaism, which is also called demonic literature. Okay, and they want to put the Antichrist to stand up and to seat himself. Now, none of that's possible if Iran exists. Now, Iran has been portrayed by very prominent and supported sources like Team America World Police, by Trey Stone and Matt Parker, as being a Durka country, when in reality, Iran is Aryan. I know that's a block here. So this is very confusing to people that Iran is Aryan because they don't look like us. And by us, I mean Americans, and by Americans, I mean Indians. Because that's how we look today. They don't look like Westerners, correct? They don't look like us. And that's true because Aryan genetic DNA, when you get into the, not the phenotype, but the genotype, right? The structural components of humanity, they share a match. I think we are closer to Persians in DNA, people like me, as almost as close as sub-Saharan Africans are to chimpanzees. That's actually sad. I believe that I might be wrong here. This is probably factually incorrect, but I'm going to say it because it's funny. I think sub-Saharan Africans are closer genetically to chimpanzees than we are to these people. However, we still have a very close genotype. Now, genotype, for those that are not familiar, is very simply the codonic structure. This is the double helix. This is what makes up, you have these structures, and we are like them. They have blue eyes, they have blonde hair, they have green eyes, but they look different because a lot of Persians are now Arab. Just like Egyptians were mostly lighter skinned Aryans, they have mixed with Arabs. And we have a problem here, okay? I still haven't seen Kristi Noem's ex-husband shirtless with those tits on. So we haven't gotten everything we wanted this week. At least I haven't. However, what we did get is an apparent ceasefire. Now, the first video that you saw there, you can bring this back, is a video of the rockets and the drones striking Israel. So we're going to break down the ceasefire and what it means. I'm going to tell you what, I do not have the predictability or the prophetic gift to tell you guys that this war is over. Because everybody knows, just like Trump's promises, a ceasefire is just a promise that hasn't been broken yet, right? That's kind of the truth. However, I want to lay down the law here as we look at this. Iran values education as much, if not more, than America. And yes, we do have blacks. And yes, we do have Hispanics. And yes, we do have small-eyed Hispanics known as Filipinos who are, in fact, much more inferior genetically and intellectually than, let's say, Western Aryan races or Persian Aryan races, even Uzbekistani hybrid Asian races. But the point is that we were lied to about Iran. And we need to accept that, okay? We need to accept the fact that Iran is not a backwards country. Iran is not this. Iran is not Afghanistan. You do not have the Mujahideen. You do not have the Taliban. You have, I think I said it wrong. It's the IRGC, correct? That's what it's called?
Yep,
IRGC.
correct.
I said IRCG last night. But who cares? We're all making shit up in the media now. So I just felt left out. But the IRGC, as Trump stated, are a very palatable and a very formidable foe. Now, all of you guys love Laryngitis Dad. I love Laryngitis Dad. If you're new to the show, you don't remember that. I love my dad. Him and I have different politics. My sister is liberal. I have different politics than her. In fact, I just mentioned my friend, you can take that off the screen, who's in the teal camp. We have different politics. Politics should not get in the way of your family, okay? I'm going to say this right now. If you are cutting off family members, if family members are cutting you off over the war in Iran, that is wrong. That is ethically wrong. That is spiritually wrong. That is immoral. Yes, because you got to remember, people have different knowledge. People have different information. You could be wrong. I could be wrong. My dad could be right. He could be wrong. The truth is we're probably both a little wrong and we're probably both a little right. Okay. But the truth is here is let's look at the facts. So we are now in a ceasefire deal. And I want to bring this up. This is being reported right now across major publications, including the most reliable publication of all, which is X. As you know, sorry, my computer's having some glitch problems. I don't know what's happening. Sorry about that. As we know, Trump came out directly. Do we have that tweet here or no? I just don't. I don't even think we have it. I'm going to look it up myself here because I don't think we have this. Trump made a tweet today, and he wrote something kind of abominable, almost as abominable as what he said previously. And I got to find it here. Let me go down here. Okay, cool. He said this specifically. This is only important part. A whole civilization will die tonight. Tonight being now.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah, never to be seen again. Now, that civilization he has called animals. He has called dogs. And I know the American patriarchal perspective. I used to work in the mainstream. Those that are new to the show, I was a big host on Blaze TV. I'm like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. I could have been a college star if I didn't tear my ACL. No, I came against the Israeli regime. I may or may not have had some misconduct throughout the years of my life. Never did, of course. May or may not. I said may not have had. No, but I've had people try to destroy me, just like they do with Candace, saying that she's gay and her husband's gay. Or they say that Nick, is gay and a furry. There's a lot of us, including Alex Jones, that they go after our personal lives, not our facts, because our facts are usually pretty damn accurate. And I have yet to ever have a channel disprove what I'm saying. I've been in this for 10 years, folks. 10 years behind the scenes and in front of the camera. And I have not been disproven on one thing I've said. I've gotten things wrong when it comes to, a date, right? Like I accidentally said the Holocaust had 6 million Jews die one time on Blaze. I was wrong. And I admit that.
It's 8 million.
It was 100 million.
Yeah.
It was actually 26 billion, 7 billion.
Correct.
Because we're all Jews at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately speaking, Trump put this out. And I got to say, Georgie, I think a lot of us saw this as posturing. Obviously, he wasn't going to nuke and take out Iran.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew what he was saying was one thing important. He was going to take out their civilian infrastructure. In fact, their nuclear power plants and, of course, their tollways. As last night they bombed the B1 2 nights ago, and we covered that on yesterday's show. But catching up to this, I just want to ask you this. You put out a video today, and I want to play it to show you right now that, you know, we're not just changing up because things change. Georgie put this out. You can follow him at Sith Lord Groiper. Check this out.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Groipers. I just wanted to quickly comment on what Trump said today about the Iran war. He says he's going to destroy their civilization overnight. And the media has quickly jumped the gun and said, oh, we're going to nuke Iran. We're going to nuke Iran. It's like, okay, people, if we nuke Iran, Russia would nuke Ukraine and China would nuke Taiwan. Do you really think that we're going to do that? It sets a terrible precedent. It is way above and beyond anything that we actually need to do. We have the technology, we have the munitions to fire a lot of ballistic missiles at their energy infrastructure, which is most likely what's going to happen. And I think anyone with a discerning mind will be able to come to that conclusion. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe we do nuke Iran.
Well, we didn't.
Well, I was wrong, and nothing ever happens. You know, I should have known that nothing ever happens, really. You know what would have happened, I think, was probably that if they followed through. I was under the impression that the Iranians cut off all forms of communication with the U.S. I wasn't sure that they were actually communicating. But what's interesting about what Trump said today is it seems like he was trying to, at least in hindsight, he was posturing himself in a position of strength so that when he inevitably conceded to all 10 of the Iranian points in their ceasefire deal, it would look like we're coming from a position of strength. That is to say that essentially that the Iranians capitulated, and that's how they're trying to frame it. Like we won, and it was because of Trump's tweet today that caused that. I don't think that's true. I think the Iranians have been holding us by the balls this entire war. They control the strait. We said that we would end up taking control. We said that we would invade certain. Do you remember what that region's called? That has all their oil.
What, the Karg Island or what?
Karg Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said we were going to invade that, and what happened? We ended up conceding 10 points of their ceasefire deal. All 10 points.
What are those 10 points? Let's bring this up. The Kobaisi letter. This is Trump is refuting this, by the way. We'll talk about this. So apparently there's a ceasefire tonight, a 2-week ceasefire, 2 weeks to slow the spread. And by the way, thank God that those 2 weeks to slow the spread of COVID actually worked. And we didn't go into a prolonged bullshit, multi-year, multi-vaccine, multi-injection fight. So the war's over, folks. Let's get a round of applause for that. War is over, folks. It's done. Even though Iran is firing rockets into Tel Aviv at the moment, here's the deal. Breaking, Iran says that it has forced the U.S. to accept a 10-point plan, which includes, 1, a commitment to non-aggression. So what's important is it says the U.S. to accept, not the U.S.-Israeli alliance. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't look like Israel was allowed into this plan at the moment, although I could be mistaken. Non-aggression. So it means they cannot attack the infrastructure. Take this off for a second because I want to play a video here. One of the reasons why they're unable to do this is because Donald Trump made an announcement here. RT put this up, and this is a real video. I know, again, the only reason why we play RT videos is because we're funded directly by the Kremlin. That's the only reason. It's not a big deal.
We love Russia.
We love Russia. So basically, put this up here. So they basically said, look, you're going to put infrastructure at bay. We're going to sacrifice our people. And this was volunteers, by the way, which shows that there was no regime change. And with this non-aggression pact that was happening, here's the first point that we lost. So my buddy, good guy, by the way, very smart, worth $100 million. It's a lot of money. Some people say that could pay almost 10% of my legal bills these days. But $100 million he's worth. And he was like, what we won. I go, wasn't the point of this regime change? He's like, we did get regime change. We killed the Khamenei family. I go, and we got a stricter, more hardline. In fact, we might have actually oppressed women more and gays more. I'm not joking. We might have actually created a greater oppression in the country. But it's not aggression, meaning Iran will no longer bomb our oil emirate allies, Qatar, Dubai, technically UAE, but Bahrain, Kuwait. You're not going to be bombing these places, and we're not going to bomb them. So that's good because, the Geneva Convention states specifically, as co-signed and curated by the United States and the United Nations, that countries shall not intentionally attack infrastructure. And last night we talked about the hardline total condemnation from World War II of the bombing of Dresden, where Germans were killed by Allies, as well as the bombings of London. I bring that up. The bombings of London were absolutely against Geneva. This is later pacts that were agreed upon. But we should not be wiping out civilization. That is against our rules. Wiping out a civilization has two other euphemisms. They're not even synonyms. It's softer ways of saying that are genocide and ethnic cleansing, or you could just be blunt and go wiping out the civilization, also known as the Old Testament. But number two, here's what they did. Iran's control of the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran now has control of the Strait of Hormuz. What's not understood is whether or not they will continue taxing vessels. And I think that largely depends. I think that the Strait of Hormuz control is how they're going to get control of Israel. And the fact that Israel's not so much mentioned in this proves that the U.S. does not have geopolitical control over Israel. Okay? That is the truth. And as you'll find from future videos, we don't have a lot of control over a lot of people. Because look, could we defeat Iran? Yes, we could. We could nuke the shit out of them and we could erase their civilization. But do you think Russia, do you think China, do you think North Korea would be okay with that? If Israel has nukes and we know about them, but we're not allowed to talk about it, who else does? I'm just saying. Do you think South Korea has nukes? Probably.
Let's ask our guest.
Oh, let's ask our guest. Do they?
These stupid little ragheads. I hate it. We should honestly kill all of them. I'm actually been MAGA from day one.
That's weird because you were a liberal. Okay, in the last 3 elections, you have opposed Trump. You have literally stated that you hate MAGA. You're telling me you're MAGA? What is that about?
Well, the thing about modern MAGA is, by the way, hail Stalin, hail the Kremlin, hail the Jews, hail socialism.
Whoa.
But also,
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, back to you.
well, the thing is about this is, one of the things that we have to realize is that MAGA now is whatever we're doing and then we're losing, as long as we say that the person's MAGA and they say that we win, they're actually MAGA. So I'm a liberal, and I actually have a vibrator in my asshole right now that's actually sold, promo code RIFT, at adamandeve.com.
No, we do not have. That's great. We do not
That
have sell
is
sex toys here.
crazy.
We don't. But continue on, bitch. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, the thing is that I'm MAGA now because MAGA is essentially anyone who hates Muslims. As a liberal, they hate gays. And we were going to get gay clubs in Tehran, and they were going to let women have OnlyFans. And basically, well, I'm pro-MAGA.
Okay, well, that's what's crazy. They did not get the gay clubs. They didn't get the OnlyFans. They didn't get any of that. So it's basically a loss. You should shut up. I said no e-girls ever, so we're going to leave you off for a second. All right, number 3, what happened here? We had the acceptance of Iran's uranium enrichment. Now, this is contested. Do you know about this? This is contested.
Mm-hmm.
Trump says that this report that they accepted uranium enrichment was predicated on a false report from Nigeria and that they did not agree to this. But Iran says that they only want to enrich uranium up to 60 to 80% to keep power, nuclear power, which once again shows they're a little bit smarter than the Western world. Like with Australia, we'll talk about Australia later. This is what they agreed upon. Now, the sad part about this is if I was Iranian, I probably would have petitioned my government to not build a nuclear bomb if it meant happening to my country what happened the last few weeks. And now that it's happened, I would say Iran is probably posturing to build a bomb. I would think they're going to go do it, okay? Now, before you tell me, oh, you're pro-Hezbollah, you're pro-Iran, you just love the Iranians. First of all, you ever seen a Persian woman? Kim Kardashian, ring a bell? They're not bad looking, okay? And like Priya Patel.
Yeah, she's hot.
Priya Patel's banging.
Hot.
Very hot.
She can stay. She can stay.
She's allowed.
Yeah.
You're allowed in the ethno state, Priya. But also
Close enough.
Close enough. Vrillium,
Yeah.
previous employee here of Rift. We have nothing but good things to say about him.
He's based.
He's very based. But Vrillium, had this controversial take about whitewashing because Dinesh's daughter married a white congressman, and the kids turned out blue-eyed. Now, I'm not really for race mixing, personally, in America. But I do believe in colonization, where I do believe you can whitewash foreigners in their country. I believe if you want to have a kid with a Colombian woman, move to Colombia.
Yeah.
Move to Argentina.
That's a good prescription.
Yeah. Look, we we should have the privilege. We're conquerors. We can like it's an unfortunate thing when the dick is hard that you become soft. It's a sad truth in reality. You know, girl, you can tell a girl you love her and you don't talk to her after you have post-nut clarity. That's the truth, okay? It's true. You're like, I love you. I'm gonna make babies with you. And you're like, ooh. You tell your friends, like, she was ugly as hell. I won't talk about that one. But you got what you needed. And the truth is that we're not promoting race mixing on the show. We should never do that. That's not the prescription for America. However, I will say that Iranians technically are Aryan. And so on a genetic level, if you were white and you'd have sex with an Aryan Persian, you aren't race mixing on a genetic level. But I would say culturally it is race mixing because they don't think like you. They are Eastern in their thought process. So I wouldn't recommend it, but
It's like marrying a Pole or something. Someone from Poland. You know, it's kind of like that. It's like the same thing.
no, the Polish are okay.
Yeah, but like they're not well, it's like Lithuanians and stuff like that. You know, the it's kind of the same, I would say. Marrying one of them versus an Iranian, it's like almost the same. You know, if they're white, the Iranians are white.
You know,
That's what I'm
Hermes
saying.
watches the show.
We love Hermes. Hermes is one of us.
Okay, go back to this list. I just have to read through this stuff. Now, going back to this, you have lifting all primary sanctions. We already lifted that. Lifting all secondary sanctions, lifted that. Termination of all UN Security Council resolutions. By the way, Trump says that he did not negotiate the Iranian enrichment, that he says no, which shows already a shakiness in this. We already have two conflicting narratives. Number 6, you have the termination of all UN Security Council resolutions. Yeah, and those worked. What is the UN? It's like your wife telling you what you can and can't do. She only has authority if you tell her, okay, I'm sorry. Guys, I swear, I have friends that are so pussy whipped by their guys, by their girls, and their guys.
Pause.
Base. No, but the UN has no resolution. Then you have the termination 7 of all Board of Governors resolutions. 8, paying compensation Iran. That's unclear right now, guys. We're not going to break that down today. In the future, we will. 9, withdrawal of all U.S. combat forces from the region. I just don't believe that.
No.
That's why this agreement seems either fake or misconstrued. We are not leaving the region, period.
It's going to look a lot like the Palestinian-Israeli ceasefire when there really was no ceasefire for like a month. And then eventually they kind of started to work on things and then it broke apart. You know, the Israelis, they're bound to cause some trouble for us in this ceasefire. Preemptive strikes again. They're going to start bombing, and they already have. And Iran is retaliating already by bombing them. Immediately after this ceasefire was passed, Iran started bombing Israel, probably because Israel bombed them. I know Israel was bombing their bridges this morning, and Iran retaliated right after the ceasefire, which begs the question, is Israel actually included in this ceasefire, or is Iran and Israel going to just keep going at it? Do we know?
I just want to say, I think Poles and Eastern Europeans are white.
Yeah, they're white.
I think so.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Well, so are, you know, that was my point though. If the Persians, if the Persians are white, so are they. It's like the same. We're probably genetically about the same.
Well, yeah, but here's what I'm going to say. So this happened because tonight's threat was unpopular with everyone, including the Pope. To all the Catholics out there, here's what he said during Orthodox Holy Week. Listen.
Once again, what I said in the Urbi et Orbi message on Sunday, asking all people of goodwill to search always for peace and not violence, to reject war, especially a war which many people have said is an unjust war, which is continuing to escalate and which is not resolving anything. In fact, we have a worldwide economic crisis, energy crisis, situation in the Middle East of great instability, which is only provoking more hatred throughout the
Yeah, so this was very unpopular. We'll just say that. You can take that off the screen here for a second.
I'm loving this Pope, honestly. He's been based from the beginning. I'm really loving everything he's doing lately.
Well, Trump said it was illegal. I'll go down here for a second. Alex Jones saw this and said, we're basically little Israel now. This is very controversial. Very short clip. Listen to this.
We're little Israel now.
Well, big Israel. I
Yeah,
guess.
Israel's the boss.
No, we are little Israel. We are a small conquered nation. In fact, DC is not even the tip of the iceberg, with San Diego thousands of miles away on the West Coast being attributed to these anti-Semitic laws, where the criticism of the state of Israel and their allies is considered in many ways to be hatred of Jews. This is why I always just say, don't worry about it, just hate the Jews. Totally joking about this. No, I'm totally joking.
We are all Jewish, by the way.
We're all
on TV.
Jewish.
We're all Jewish.
In fact, I'm not only not anti-Semitic, I think I'm philo-Semitic. Elon, give me more money on X, please. Who knows? However, some preparations are going on in Tel Aviv. 15 planes have left Tel Aviv over the past 30 minutes. The Israeli government has fled. Something big is happening. And this is true.
This was right after the ceasefire, by the way. So right after the ceasefire went through, Israel expected attacks, and they were right.
So you see this here, the attacks and planes leaving, because for some reason, what we have misunderstood here is that Israel doesn't seem to be a part of these attacks or these defenses or even this resolution. Now, that could be one of several reasons. It could be because the U.S. wants to posture. Here's what I believe from this totality. This is a mess. You already have Trump's cabinet and generals trying to distance themselves. Where's J.D. Vance been? His wife has been reading books to children.
We have a clip about that, actually.
Oh, we do, huh?
Yeah, he did a speech. He did an interesting speech. We know what he's been up to. He's becoming estranged from the Trump administration. Clearly, this video proves it. Let's see. Let's pull it up here.
This is embarrassing.
This is actually embarrassing.
I actually had a special guest that asked that I give him a phone call, and we'll see. Let's hope he actually answers. So this is going to be very embarrassing. All right.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Okay. Try one more time.
So they're not
We get a
even
good
answering
signal
his
here.
calls anymore. Trump has him blocked.
A lot of people have me blocked.
It's
too.
ringing. It's progress.
And he sits there like a fool, and he takes it.
I actually had a special.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, everyone thinks J.D. Vance is going to be the front runner. If you saw Marco Rubio's Munich speech, it's fair to estimate that Marco Rubio will be the one who ends up as the front runner. It was an amazing speech. That speech should have been done by J.D. Vance if he was going to run, or he's probably going to run, but he'll be an opponent to Rubio.
Was that in Munich? Where was that?
That was Munich. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 30-minute video. We don't have to pull it up, but
No.
I highly recommend pulling it up and watching it if you haven't seen it already. It's a really beautiful speech where Marco Rubio parrots all of the America First talking points. He's making a commitment to Europe that says, although you are starting to leave us because of our how we've acted over the last 30 years, we are not leaving you, or rather, that's not our intention. Even though Italy, we have some stuff about that as well. Italy just recently, they're coming after us, or rather, they're pulling out. They're saying that if America is the UN, then why are they helping us, essentially? And they've already blocked off the use of our bases and their airspace, that includes France as well. So we are distancing ourselves from our allies, and there seems to be no hope of reconciliation at this point, frankly.
Yeah, but true. But however, while 1 million people have been displaced and 20% of Lebanon has been annexed by Israel, BRICS News reported that Israel and Hezbollah are to halt fighting in Lebanon as a part of the 2-week ceasefire deal. So Israel is included in this. However, are they required to stay as individuals in this mess? You know,
Well, they're exchanging a lot of rockets between them, Iran and Israel. So maybe the Lebanon thing is included, but it seems like Iran and Israel are still going at it, and there seems to be no stopping it at this point.
No, there is none. However, I watched last night Israel carpet bombing villages in South Lebanon. Now, Lebanese people are a bit dishonest sometimes. Okay, they are.
Yeah.
You can be very crafty, very, very deep, very, very much individuals who I don't know. Now, my voice is changing slightly because I smoke cigars, and that's okay. However, a lot's changing in Lebanon because their cities are being smoked by Israel, which is not reversible. Okay, this is very, very serious. They're killing children. They're killing families. They're not confirming that the cities are vacated. And they are trying to create an annex zone, which means they're really trying to create a greater Israel. Now, you need Iraq, you need Iran, you need Syria, you need these countries in their belt in order to annex these land posts.
See if you can pull up a map of Greater Israel real quick.
Oh, I can. I really actually
It's kind
can.
of it's important. If you haven't seen this map, it's really important to understand. The IDF, I mentioned it on last night's show, they have patches, a lot of them, on their arm, and it has this map on it. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know if it'll be in our bookmarks. Just like search up Greater Israel on Google, probably.
Well, look, I said this back in November 16th, 2025. I said, our entire foreign policy has cost trillions of dollars and decimated our economy. Start. People who complain about people taking money from Qatar are just Zionist hypocrites, accusing political opponents of doing what they're doing, but because it's not Israel and Zionist orgs funding them, that's why it's wrong. I've never met a person funded by Qatar is projecting. That's actually the truth.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say right now on the right, in the inside, is very hard to make money from the establishment because they only want you if you support the war in the Middle East. What war? I don't know. There's several of them currently going on. It's almost like we don't talk about Ukraine anymore. You know, you got a Jewish guy leading a war of attrition so that Ukrainians can be openly gay and have OnlyFans as well. And they're letting white Orthodox Christians kill each other to such an extent they're willing to divide the church even. It's very sick. It's a very big example of Jewish overreach.
Yeah, they're putting their own state-sponsored priests and bishops in the old positions where the Russians were.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. It's a shame.
Now, the deal is that there's a 68% chance on Polymarket and Kalshi of Trump being impeached before the end of his term.
First term, yeah.
Now, that's possible if we lose the midterms, but this just came in as well that U.S. Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari. Oh, the fact that we even have a congresswoman with that name makes me sick. And by that name, I mean a female name. That's
Articles
disgusting.
Of impeachment against Pete Hegseth. We'll see if it goes anywhere.
It never does. It never will, it never does.
Yeah. We can hope.
Get that shit off my screen. By shit, I mean a non-white woman. I'm totally joking, by the way. Absolutely hilarious. Now, that being said, we have isolated our alliance. So I was talking to my friend, and we were talking about this, and he's like, can't you admit we won? And I'm like, no, we didn't win. He's like, we did get a regime change. I go, yeah, well, like, imagine this. Imagine, like, Israel takes out JFK and then they get a more anti-Israel president that takes his place. Did they win? Yeah, they won a skirmish, and I guess in the U.S. terms, that's a full victory. When you win one battle, it's a full victory according to Donald Trump. But the reality is we didn't win, and Trump had to posture and had to get us out. And he's like, well, you're coping. I go, we didn't get what we wanted. Iran's not defeated. They didn't give up the uranium. They still control the Strait of Hormuz. We just destroyed a lot of equipment that we believe they sacrificed on purpose to deplete our arsenals. God knows who or why, considering that China is making moves on Taiwan right now, which is interesting with the opposition party in Taiwan. That's interesting. Why are the opposition in Taiwan currently in Beijing meeting with Chinese officials as we deplete our stockpiles and removed our Patriot battle systems from Seoul, South Korea? That's interesting. Yeah, I like that stuff. However, we all have fetishes that we like, but not everyone's into our fetishes. What's really going on here? Well, let's talk about our other fetish, the fact that our allies, so many female leaders, I don't want to see this.
I like her, actually.
I like her, actually.
I love her.
That's why they're all in office, buddy.
Yeah, you know, it's
I
like,
actually like her.
well, if the men,
You want to eat her box.
well, the reason she's succeeding,
You want to eat her box.
I do actually, yeah,
Exactly.
100%, every day.
If
of the
she
week.
wasn't attractive, you wouldn't like her.
You're right.
Why does the AFD not put their lesbian chick on the front? Because she's ugly.
Well, look, men could never do what she did because they wouldn't win. She only got away with it because she is a woman. And it's the same with AFD. I mean, the AFD party leader is a white German woman married to a Sri Lankan woman. She's a lesbian married to an immigrant. And she's winning. And the only reason why is because she lives like that, and it's really hard to come after her.
Jeez, I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this,
Grandpa. Dig your holes. Dig into her hole.
Digging.
Keep digging. Listen to this.
Sbagliata questa strategia, allora mi si deve formalizzare l'alternativa, mi si deve dire quindi che cosa si intende fare, cioè dobbiamo prendere distanze nel senso che dobbiamo uscire dalla NATO, dobbiamo chiudere le basi americane, dobbiamo rompere i rapporti commerciali, dobbiamo assaltare i McDonald's, non lo so. Che dobbiamo fare? Altrimenti chiaramente sbagliata questa strategia, allora mi si deve formalizzare l'alternativa, mi si deve dire quindi che cosa si intende fare, cioè dobbiamo prendere distanze nel senso che dobbiamo uscire dalla NATO, dobbiamo chiudere le basi americane, dobbiamo rompere i rapporti commerciali, dobbiamo assaltare i McDonald's, non lo so.
All right. I want to show you something very important. It's going to shock a lot of you guys here, by the way. This is actually very deep. And so, Maloney, Georgia Maloney, did you ever see her when she was younger? Okay, I'm going to bring this up.
Okay, now we're talking.
Okay.
She was hot.
Well, we will see this. I mean, here we go.
Cocktoes.
Look at that.
Oh, let's see. Whoa, she looks kind of like young Hillary Clinton or something.
Yeah.
You know, and she was hot too.
Yeah, look, she had all these looks. Look at this. That was her.
Yeah, that's nice. W.
Okay, we can't get in this.
Nikki Rod.
What the fuck is
logged
going
in on that? Looks like.
Shouldn't let anyone know about that. Don't talk to them about who's really logged in.
It's classified, everybody.
This is her when she was younger. This is why our founding fathers made the age of presidency 35, because they didn't want hot bitches running our country.
She's got to be older than that, right?
Everybody would have been like, oh my gosh, she's so hot. I want to ask in the chat 2 questions. Number 1, have you ever bought an OnlyFans subscription? Be honest. 1. 2, no. And 3, if you knew that your crush from high school opened up one, would you get it? 3. That's a big question. Is your crush from high school on OnlyFans? Are you getting one? Number 3.
Wait for the comments to come in. We're gonna
So
wait for
one means you've already gotten one. 2 means you'd never. Someone said 1 and never. Oh, it's so good.
All right, we got a lot of ones. Everyone's saying ones in chat. Iron Cow 86 says 1. Mr. Dissident says 1. Whoa, guys. Cocteau says definitely. Australia Ben, he's the only one that says no. Doomsday.
Guitarma MG said he bought one before.
You guys are filthy animals.
Dusty Boy said 3, but not anymore. She's fat.
X1000 RPM says OnlyFans is cheap. Okay. Well,
that's crazy.
So is going to hell.
Anyways, moving along here. So at the same time, let's go and transition over to what's happening in North Korea. South Korea and North Korea apparently are repairing relations. Who's eating better, according to this picture?
Yeah, check this out.
I buy the propaganda. You know what they say? I may not watch Fox News, but I do watch RT, Qatari Media, and I love their shit. They have you ever heard their national anthem? Take this off for a second. You ever heard their national anthem or their recent new nationalism song? Have you seen this?
North Korea?
Yeah, have you seen this?
I don't know. I watch all their
Oh,
stuff.
it's so good.
I probably have.
Oh, it's so good. It's the new song. Watch this. Wait, hold up. We have Bryson Gray. It's like this, but black, you know? Lady Gaga. Yeah, Bryson Gray and Lady Gaga are like your propaganda arms of the MAGA movement. I say that respectfully, by the way. They never had a nigga touch this rap on the reality. We have nothing on our South Korea. He's like,
Yeah, quick shout out to North Korea for sponsoring the show.
Thank you, North Korea.
They paid us to put that in. It was great money.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't make it into our accounts like their missiles aren't making it past the mainland, unfortunately. They're working on it. They're working on how to get wires directly to our accounts. Hopefully they get that before that.
Through China first.
All right, that being said, they're working on their relations. Now,
what was interesting about that article...
Put yourself full screen, dog.
What?
Put yourself full screen.
What's interesting about... I don't really have much to say, but something that they missed in that article was that there was an exchange of drones or something, a drone incursion from South Korea to North Korea. South Korea apologized for the basically first time ever to North Korea. North Korea reciprocated by accepting the apology, and it just seems interesting. It seems like the whole world is kind of turning over. Italy is leaving us. France is starting to leave us. I think they just negotiated their ships through the Strait of Hormuz against our will, necessarily. The whole world order is shifting very rapidly. It seems like, and we just mentioned earlier that the Taiwanese opposition leader met with Xi Jinping in Beijing, which is very interesting. So if they win, it looks like maybe Taiwan will just join China. I mean, they seem to be on good terms, the opposition party in Beijing. So we'll see what happens, but I have a hard time believing really any of these countries want to work with us anymore, seeing what we're doing in the Middle East and Iran.
You know, they say that a lot of cultures are misunderstood, but have you ever seen a funeral in Africa? Check this out.
We were expecting bombs to drop tonight, so it's a little bit of a slow news day. It's advanced technology.
Is that money or crack cocaine in the back?
I believe it's crack cocaine. Is he dead?
He is dead, very dead.
This guy's dead?
Yeah, it's a dead guy. That's a dead guy.
They're getting creative. Wow, everybody's so creative.
Yeah, look, blacks make a car, and that's what they make. That's crazy. Yeah. It's like a carton of cigarettes with UFOs on the side. By the way, I am always impressed by black people, how they can just like take a bridge. You know what they say, right? Do you know what Zimbabwe had?
Oh, yeah, they built a bridge, and then the people...
Yeah, but do you know what they did before they even had candles to light their homes?
Died?
No, they had electricity.
Ah. Which country? Zimbabwe?
Well, yeah, before they had
whites, the whites did it.
You don't get that joke?
Of course I do now.
Before they had candles, they had electricity. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Before they even had candles, they had electricity. Unfortunately, yeah, it's just our ancestors dying. Not a big deal.
No big deal, people.
All right, that being said, a couple things here from this inside trading. Moving along here. Don't forget to join our locals, ElijahSchaefer.locals.com, where we are figuring out how to do our job. That's very, very nice. You know, I remember too, by the way, I'm very happy that we're not back on Blaze. This clip popped up today on X. Okay, I just found this today. This popped up. My old set. What was going on there?
I just had to pee. They said, go upstairs. I was dragged in here. Who are you? And what are you doing
This is
here?
a real live
just
show.
walked out of Glenn Beck's studio. I just had to pee. I was literally just going to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. I still have to go to the bathroom because I didn't go. And here I am sitting with you.
Okay.
I say nothing.
But
Excuse me, Dave, are you ready, sir?
yeah, I have to go.
Yes, you do.
I say nothing.
Oh, thanks for literally nothing. Go. Yeah, it's so incredible. I feel the love.
Whoever was cutting that show was doing great live.
Yeah,
that was a
good.
really good cut. That was really uncomfortable.
That was good.
Why was the show for 2 years just people uncomfortable in a room with me? It reminds me of every girl I've met.
Like that one? This one?
Finger me later.
Sorry, that was inappropriate. My dad left the room like 10 minutes into the show. He was very disgusted with what the show's become. People see that, they're like, you've fallen off. Like, did you know what the show was?
My
When was
dad
that?
just texted me. He said, "You're not my son anymore." So
That was 3 days ago. So what does he think today? No, but it's crazy. It's like this show has been worse over the years. Like, it's actually been a worse show. It's been horrible. The show's been horrible since it started, which is actually fantastic. It's been a terrible show from the beginning.
it's been a great show from the beginning. You're being too hard on yourself. I mean, that was a great clip. That was high quality content. I think.
That guy was
This whole show
that's
was
Red
good.
Eagle politics. He was very awkward about it. He's like, I say nothing. That's a good quote. That's like the most autistic quote you could say. I say nothing. All right. Bringing this back up. I don't know why I brought that up here. That was just very weird. That showed up in my feed, and I thought we should talk about it. Bringing up some other clips I think is quite important here. So let's go and let's talk a little about immigration. We talked about the other night, some of the insanity here. We got to play the intro. You saw the intro? All right, back to immigration here. Let me skip forward on this and just put a different thing up here, right? Like, but where can we go? This there you go. We'll go back to this. We're not in the Iran war anymore. All right, this is Rift TV. Okay, so a video went viral today from Mumbai, India, which is the current governor who won 90% of the Republican vote. I did not even know that we were voting for him in the elections, but check this out.
Here, I am now in Mumbai, India, after a 17-hour flight. You might be able to tell from what's surrounding me. It looks very tropical where we are right now on the water here in the hotel that we'll be staying at. We're looking forward to getting engaged and meeting with the people as well as the businesses here in India that we are already doing business with, working to develop those relationships even more. Again, I'll provide you daily updates on what's going on.
Oh, that's crazy. So back in 2018, I want to remind you, back when this happened, Hot Wheels, Governor Hot Wheels, we call him. He's in a wheelchair. By the way, he's disabled and he's a paralyzed guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a governor who can't run. And they said Madison Cawthorn was bad for pointing out the cocaine. Not a funny statement. By the way, I have unreleased footage with Madison Cawthorn. Sounds very suggestive, but I have.
Here it is.
His wheels, his legs may not work, but the right parts do.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
So you were at the cocaine parties? You were there?
Cocaine. We're doing ketamine. It's 2020.
It's true. That's true. You guys are doing
Snap.
What the Dude, this is disgusting. This is an adult show. Please, let's get this out of here. Get her out of here. Can you go to her for a second? We're getting her out of here. Get out of here. All right, you're done. She's out. She's done. All right. That being said, you're a blue-haired bitch. Get off my stage and get in my room. I forgot that the camera was on her. That was in the wrong voice. My bad. Wrong character.
What character? We're not playing characters.
It's called CPAC character. All right. That being said,
we're just having fun here, folks.
That was Governor Greg Abbott who was saying, particularly that, we got a lot to do with Mumbai. Now, 2018 is quite a long time ago, right? In 2020, down to 2004, 2006, there was, several percentage points were Indian in this country. And now we are in a position where we have individuals that we have about 33%, some say up to 50%. Now, there were some clips that came up from Tyler Oliveira. I thought this was interesting. No, this is down the street from our studio, actually. Check this out.
Hi, man. When I asked him to swear on his mother's name, he postured up. I thought he was going to throw down. I thought I was going to get punched for the first time in my life by an Indian. So this is a meme right now. Please be patient, student driver. This is a kind of a joke, a meme online because there's so many of them. Are you a student driver?
No, I'm not.
Why do you have the student driver sticker?
No, why are you taking video?
We're doing a survey for people that have student driver stickers.
I'm not a student.
Do you have a student driver in your family?
Before I am a student driver, so I kept it. I forgot to remove it.
How old are you?
30.
I have a sticker which I put it inside.
You have a student driver sticker?
That's for my girlfriend, so.
Come on. So your girlfriend has a student driver sticker?
And she has a student driver license.
Is your girlfriend a little girl?
No.
How old is she?
She's about 30. She just started driving. She wouldn't drive, learning to drive.
I see. Did she know how to drive in India?
Yeah.
I see. So it's a difficult translation over here?
Yeah, it's left to right and all that. So probably she did her course 2 weeks ago.
Okay. It looks a little scammy almost.
Sure, yeah. Now I know that's a great thing. I'll remove that.
Is that your sticker?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Are you a student driver?
No.
Why do you have that sticker?
My kid sometimes drives.
I see. But if so many of these...
Yeah. So...
This shit is everywhere. If you drive around northern Dallas, it's every car.
Yeah, so one of the main problems remains one of the biggest problems, is when you go into these countries, sorry, not countries, suburbs, because it feels like you're traveling to Pakistan, it feels like you're traveling, right? When you go into one of these main countries, these main places, is you find out a lot of people are very much, they're clueless that they're in America. Clueless. And the problem with Indians, I put a post up. It went quite viral. We played it last night. And let me see if I can find a response here. So we put up a video about the Indians running for office in this area. Now, some people have really weird names, right? Like Joel Webben put this up and said, then as it's expected, anti-Semitism is simply saying it's the truth. And I just read the guy's name, Shlomo Levine, and I said, this sounds like something someone would make up when trying to be anti-Semitic, this name. Like, hey, I was ran to Shlomo Levine. You're like, damn, that's unfortunate. Shlomo. That was like Dick Pock Potra or whatever the guy's name was.
Yeah.
But, take this off the screen for a second. I have tech problems here. Segway doesn't work, but you have to just take it down, These people got kind of mad because I made a post. This guy said, look, he said, could we bring that up, please? He said, calling India a third world country won't help you. What you are doing isn't informing, but inciting hatred and racism. So shameless of you, utter disgrace, better work on gaining the market needed skills and qualifications. That was Yash Jangid. And I said, you are Indian. Also under the post, several people, this is right down the street from us, Chabawardi. This guy's like, India is not a third world country. America is grok. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? I'm like, it's fourth world. And this person was like, calling illegal workers and families an invasion is just fear, not facts. Indians are here through education, skills, and hard work, not conquest. That's
ChatGPT wrote that. ChatGPT wrote that.
I know it did.
It's just fear, not facts. Through education, skills, and hard work, not conquest. Only ChatGPT writes that.
Yeah, Prudvi Charan, and I said, abortion is legal, but it's still murder.
Thanks for proving
Suicide is legal in Canada, but it's still wrong. Legal immigration is being abused by your people. You ruined your country, and you are ruining our cohesive society. You don't integrate, you don't assimilate, and you do not improve our society. Which is true. Not everyone was very happy about these posts, which is interesting. I hate that. That picture makes me want to go to Canada and just end it all. But ultimately speaking, it's true. But let's talk about this with immigration. Here's a church in Tehran on Easter. That being said, I swear, if you talk to anybody who watches Jesse Waters, they cannot believe that there are actual Christians in Tehran, because they were told that Christians do not exist there. There are animals and dogs. And
they live in huts. That doesn't look like a lot of huts to me. That looks like a pretty modern city.
Yeah, they're actually quite advanced. Now, Tucker Carlson's some hot water, okay? Because
Tucker's coming out swinging lately.
Yeah. CIA connections. Listen, I'm going to say this. I don't know. It's always hard being friends with two different kinds of people. Like being friends with Tucker and Nick. I'm not going to say that, I'm friends with Tucker today. Like we're acquaintances, but I've made a movie with him. It's enough, right? I made a film with him. I've been on a show, several times. I've hung out with him in person. I know about his thing that he does with the CIA a little bit, but I can't hate on that nigga because, it's kind of crazy. But he has been kind of like
He's been on fire. He's been fighting the right fight. I mean, it's hard to say if
on
it's
God.
subversive or not.
No, he's been right. Now he said a couple things. Listen to these two clips.
One thing that every person knows that is, in a civilized country, you can't steal without penalty. It's not allowed. That doesn't belong to you. You can't shoplift. You can't rob banks. You can't embezzle. You can't invade countries to steal their stuff because they're all varieties of the same theme, which is theft. And theft is wrong. It's wrong under the American legal code, but it's also wrong under the Christian legal code. Theft is wrong. Spelled out really clearly. It's also intuitive. And here was the president saying, we're just stealing this because we can. Well, as a practical matter, that's quite a thing to say out loud, given that we know from history that the things you do will be done unto you. Once you set a standard, you will have to live by that standard. Write a law, you will be judged by that law. So if the new law is, I can take it because I want it, and I have more power than you, at some point, we can rest assured the tables will be turned, and the things that we want and cherish and have earned and that we own will be taken from us by force at the moment when some other power has more force than we do. It's really simple. Right. Sometimes called the law of the jungle.
One more clip. Here you go. Real fast.
Airstrikes will not open the strait for very obvious reasons. You can close it with mines. So if you reach the end of your conventional power, where does that leave you? Oh, with non-conventional power. What's that a euphemism for? Nuclear weapons. And the effects of that hardly need to be explained. Well, they can't be fully known because modern nuclear weapons have never been used. But you can just draw obvious conclusions, like life in Iran, not possible. So you wipe out a country of 92 million people. What about directly across the Persian Gulf? What about the 7 other countries, all of them allies of the United States, the biggest oil-producing countries in the world? Could you live there? What about the 100-odd million people who live in those countries? Maybe not possible for them either. Would a nuclear strike be followed by peace? Probably not. The U.S. isn't the only country in the world with nuclear weapons. You could have a global nuclear war. That's why we haven't used nuclear weapons in 80 years. No one has. Because you don't know where it goes from there. This is insane. Okay? This is insane. It's hard to believe you even need to say this out loud. Oh, but you do. Because all things being equal, that's where we're heading. And how do we know that? Well, there are a million signs.
Well, it's an interesting question.
But the most obvious is the dumbest neocons in Trump's orbit are saying it out loud.
Okay, like my take on this, it feels like fear-mongering, to be honest with you. The Trump administration, although the claims that they made and the threats they made were crazy today, they never said nukes. They never said we're going to nuke Iran. So I made that video earlier. We played it already on the show. That's what I was talking about. It's people like Tucker coming out and saying, we're going to nuke Iran and riling up the public about it when that's just not true. That's not what Trump said. And even earlier today, the White House made a publication that they said, we do not intend on using nuclear weapons. So did that just miss his For You page? I mean, I don't think it did. We probably have the same or roughly the same For You page. It's just interesting. Why would he be riling up everybody like this. I mean, yeah, if it was up to Israel, they would probably nuke Iran, but I mean, I don't really think we're going to do it. It doesn't seem like we were going to do it. We have really no reason to do it. We have all the capability in the world to destroy all their infrastructure to make life unlivable for them. We don't need to be nuking them and having that nuclear fallout go into their neighboring countries. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Now, looking at the fact of things being a little bit updated, what's happening here is that
there's nothing that we can do, and we're going to wash. What are we going to just leave them there? There's nothing that we can do, and we're going to wash our hands over that. That to me is morally very difficult to accept. And then what about the proxies, Hezbollah? I was reading these statements. Hezbollah has killed more Americans than Iran directly. Hezbollah is Iran. Hezbollah is firing missiles into Israel by the hundreds still. And here we have a ceasefire that they've already broken. And so, yes, the argument will be, well, they don't have control.
Dude, the Jews are scared. And they should be.
Well, they're scared because it seems like Trump is leaving their cause in some way. You know, he betrayed his voters for the last year, and now the pressure's up. We capitulated to all 10 points of the ceasefire. It seems like he's potentially, it's probably not going to happen. Nothing ever happens, but potentially it seems like he may be
coming back,
veering away from the Israel cause.
Yes, listen, that's the key thing. So what you have to understand, today's like one of these quiet shows. No, but Trump was advised by all of his cabinet members and by his generals, at least those who matter, that this was not a winnable war. Now, the reason why is because everybody knows if America wanted to win a war of attrition against Iran, we would have to be willing to deploy nuclear weapons. And we are not there. Why? Because Americans don't have a problem with Iranian people. In fact, if the regime in its own way was sympathetic to Hezbollah, what has Hezbollah done to us? Well, they've killed some of our soldiers. They've kidnapped some of our people. They've killed some of our tourists. In what regard? In relation to our support of Israel. But Americans don't support Israel, okay? We do not. Now, we have a cancer in our country, and I'm going to get very unpopular. I'm only going to lose followers. I'm in like a year of losing followers. I'm okay with this. Until we get rid of the cancer of Zionist evangelicalism in our country, which is a cult, I would rather have a Mormon country than an evangelical Zionist country. I'm going to be honest with you on that. I said it. I'd rather have a Jehovah's Witness country, which are not even close to Christianity. It's like a satanic, weird thing that doesn't even represent Jesus Christ. You know why? Because at least the Jehovah's Witness don't believe in Jesus, but at least they don't mock Jesus in the way that I see that evangelicals do. Like, it's like I went to a church once and I saw a clip, an evangelical church. I swear to God, and I know God says let your yes be yes and your no be no. The worship pastor was doing this. He said this exactly. All right now, I just want you to tell God, come inside me. Say, Jesus, come inside me. Just go ahead, just come right now, come inside me. And everyone's like, what? Dude, we're not screaming that out. Yeah. My children are here. Okay? And Jesus is the guy who takes my check at 4 a.m. when I'm drunk at Taco Bell. Okay? Jesus is not going to like to hear this. Also known as Jesus Eduardo Hidalgo Diaz III. But it's like, that's weird. Okay, the way that they get emotionalism and the femininity of the way they look at God like a feminine creature and they act feminine to a feminine creature, it's like a cult. It's like a feminist deity. It's like a new age cult.
Well, it seems pretty obvious.
It's weird.
It's the leadership. So let's just be clear. It's not the evangelicals broadly. It is the evangelical leadership, which is effectively subverting the public and their own followers in the church. They're collecting money. They're throwing that basket around the church.
You're fired, dude.
Where does that go? It goes straight to Israel.
Just kidding. No, it's true.
No, I was agreeing with you.
No. Now you are because you just got fired. All right, you're unfired.
Okay.
All right, I'm cutting your pay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Anyways, no, it's true though. Yeah, listen, I agree with your point on that. It's look, I'm not saying all evangelicals are like this. I'm saying there is a cancer in our country, and Zionist evangelicalism is actually a cancer to our national welfare. And no, everyone's say he's calling us to round up the Christians. No. It's going to fix itself. Okay. It's fixing itself right now. Young people are not turning towards Protestantism. And here's the deal. I always love seeing a hoe in general.
Period.
But I love going to prostitutes and seeing hoes, and they're like, I love you, Jesus. It's like, but will you stop texting the 11 guys in your phone? No, no, I won't. And it's like,
she's already saved, bro. Why would she do that?
She's forgiven.
She's saved.
She was baptized.
Yeah.
I swear, in 2052, evangelicals are going to have topless baptism services. And
they probably already do in some places.
Holy Spirit bikini contest will justify it by saying that like bikinis, you get rid of your clothes, get rid of your earthly desires, and that includes the clothes on your body. And then we're all just like jerking off in service. That's where it's headed. It's disgusting, but it's true. The evangelical church, dude, it is. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is why I hear boomers like, "Hey, dude, you can get like really hot, not hot." Sorry, I want to clarify this. You can get good girls in church, ugly fat girls. You want to get hot girls in an evangelical, non-denominational church, they are hoes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I am not against the grace of God, and I understand that hoes can be forgiven, and they can go to heaven.
Yeah.
That's good for you, buddy. Enjoy them. You can have them all, okay?
Thank you.
You can have all of them. You can marry
Appreciate it.
them all.
Thanks.
And, people talk about this like, oh, well, God forgives all. It's like, look, male and female sex lives are not similar in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't even need to bring up the old myth, not myth, but like, they said the feminist myth, but it's like a lock opened up by many, keys is a broken lock. A key that opens many locks is a master key. Look, we're not promoting degeneracy here. We're not telling people to have sex. But if you're a sexual patriot and you're a male, you might still be a Christian. If you're a sexual patriot and you're a woman, you are a hoe. And you cannot be a hoe and a Christian, okay? As a man, your sexuality is very different, and your life is very different. It's not less of a sin, right? In the eyes of God, even a small lie is as bad as murder. It's all your good works like filthy rags in Isaiah. It's like the idea that everything you do is evil, is wrong. But in the church, you're not going to find good girls in the church. And what you're finding in the church today is actually that guys are waiting for marriage, and they're virgins and girls are not. And they're like, I'm
totally
repentant.
backwards.
I'm repentant. It should be the opposite. It's like guys went out in the world because men are conquerors. Men used to rape, kill, and murder and conquer. And as a guy, you're like, hey, look, sex doesn't mean a lot to me. It's important to me because I need it, but it's like eating. And you see, this to prove to you that sex is different for men and women, look at food. Does a man look that bad, a little chunky? No. A man's still handsome and still can do his work as a man, a little handsome. What about a chunky woman? Worthless.
Yeah.
Worthless. It's like, what do you mean worthless? Yeah, a fat woman is worthless. I see many fat guys get beautiful women. They're healthy, maybe they're, I'm not putting, I like Clav's idea of being looks maxing, but like, if you're fat, you can unfat yourself and whatever. And shout out to girls who do unfat themselves. But like, realistically speaking, a guy who was fat and now not fat is not different. But you know what you find is a girl that was fat and is now not fat she has a good personality.
True.
Because they develop personalities through being previously fat. And I'm not shaming girls who get skinny. It's good. You all should lose weight and should get skinny. I'm just saying with men, it's like you don't see a guy go fat and get skinny and he's like now a better person. He's like, he actually becomes a degenerate. He's like, I'm going to fuck bitches now because now I'm fucking look good. And I feel like the problem with this stuff is that the church is like, the evangelical non-denominational church is now telling women and men point blank that it's like, you got to support Israel. No, you got to support your blood pressure, okay? Women, don't be fat. Learn how to cook. Learn how to clean. Shut the fuck up, okay? Be quiet.
Yeah, well, virtues are a little different for men and women generally, but also in the Christian sense. I mean, if you're an adulterer on both ends, you can't become a saint. But I think the reason why sex is a different, it's almost like a deeper sin for women that are Christian. Because it's so emotional based. It's like women are very emotional about sex. They kind of fall in love in a way with all the men they have sex with.
Was Seraphim a saint?
Seraphim? Yeah, of course.
Was he homosexual?
No, Seraphim Rose?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't a homosexual. He had a...
Why do the Catholics say that?
They say that because there was a monk who worked with him who had like a homosexual past or something like that. And he got kicked out, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Maybe Seraphim he was into the New Age stuff with Alan Watts, and I wouldn't put it past him in his old life, but when he became a monk, obviously that went away.
But I'm saying, as a woman, you don't have to be accomplished. Like I swear, like I'll meet a girl. Oh, dude, this is the worst right now. Meeting girls who tell you they're into politics. Oh, Lord have mercy. By the way, being divorced, I'm actually shocked. I talked to my dad about this because, you know, his wife died. And he's like, the amount of like women that hit him up after his wife died, it's crazy. Right now, girls, it's kind of like you see like Ted Bundy or people, they're like a gay, you know, murderer and they have all these girls in their DMs. It's like the amount of girls that are somehow interested in me right now is crazy. I'm not trying to get girls. I'm not into that right now. I'm, of course, into twinks. We all know that. That's part of the...
Everyone is.
Ask Francis Moon. He'll tell you everything. Him and Milo know it all. But so does Cash. But the joke is like you move into this and you're like, look, I'm not trying to date anyone right now. I'm trying to just, you know, work on getting justice for my family and my reputation. But on the flip of that, you go, you know, men are not attracted to women with debt and problems, but you will fuck a girl with problems. In fact, you're going to seek to have sex with a girl with problems. In fact, guys was like, I want a girl like that to ruin my life. No, you want her to ruin your night.
Yeah, it almost takes the guilt off of you because you know this person's
right. She's for the streets.
Promiscuous, yeah.
Well, yeah. If a girl's promiscuous, that's why society always had hoes and they had women because. Like the same thing, like I would be mad at my sons. I have 2 sons. And if I found out when they're of age, they're older, they're young now. I'm not being weird about this. Just when my sons become men, if I found out that they had a girlfriend and, you know, or they were with a girl and they slept with her, I'm not going to be really mad if I realized that girl wasn't their wife and she was a girlfriend. She was a friend and they were, you know, like all friends that are girls, sex happens and they're past it. I'd be like, okay, dude, just know that sin comes with consequences and, you know, it's like chasing the dragon. You can never have enough pussy. It'll always never be enough. It's like all sin. It's all fallen short of the glory of God, but you know, you can chase it forever and you'll never get enough. Whether it's drugs or it's alcohol or it's sex or it's pride or it's ego or it's money, you never get enough of it. However, I would be pissed at my kids if they had sex with a virgin girl and dumped her.
That's the difference.
So I'd be like, hey, that's a woman. That's a lady. You just took a lady away from a lady and dumped her. However, if they married her and got divorced from it, well, we have feminist laws and virgins should never divorce. If you're a virgin, you're a girl and you married your husband, you should never divorce him no matter what. You should stick with him because you're going to find out that what made you valuable before is no longer there and you're going to blame your husband, but that's not the right way. But I would say this, I'm just saying with girls, if I had a daughter and I found out some guy took her virginity and he didn't marry her, I'm going to treat him like a gay in Iran. Like Trump said, I'm going to throw him off a roof.
Yeah.
Because like you just took away my daughter's value. And guys today now view virginity like less than 7 bodies. No, it's like less than 7 bodies.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
scary.
virginity will always be virginity. It's like, it is just modesty. It's, you know, you have to tie it back to Adam and Eve. Like, what was woman's purpose in being created? And it was to be Adam's companion and to reproduce. And, you know, that's what it is. So their value, a lot of their value comes from their modesty and their chastity. And when they lose that, it's, unfortunately, you can't necessarily get that back. You can still repent, but from a Christian standpoint, you know, your value in marriage kind of does go down and your options go down. You know, a Christian man, a good Christian man, maybe he has had a few flings in his life or whatever, but when he's ready to get married, he will look for the virgin. And that's just always going to be the case forever. And, you know, no matter how much feminism and modern ideology changes or seems to change that will always be the case on left and right. Men value modesty. They value virginity in women. Christian virtue is a little different for men. You still can't be an adulterer, and you can even become an adulterer with just your eyes. But regardless, it's not as emotional based, and it's easier, I think, for men to rebound because it's not necessarily like your virginity. You don't have a hymen to break, you know. So there's almost no, I don't know. There's just no. It's different, I guess. You know, it's very different.
Someone in chat said, "Lord, been a mockery of Jesus, dude. If you believe the internet, you're retarded." I'll leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
He was talking about evangelicals earlier.
Yeah, it's like if you honestly believe the internet, what they say about me, you're retarded. However, someone did say about you, Georgie, tonight. They said, "So glad his co-host and producer isn't gay like that one fag from You Are Here." And someone said, "This guy has aura." So, what do you call it? You call it aura?
Aura.
It's aura.
Aura.
That's how we say it in LA.
Yeah.
You got aura, bitch.
I got aura. Not really. I will.
Yeah.
Now. I'm looks maxing. We'll be lean. Lean is law. I'll be ready for White Boy Summer.
It's true. What happened in Tel Aviv stays in Tel Aviv, someone said.
That's right.
Very true.
So true.
All right. Looking at a couple super chats here. We're trying to save these Elijah rants. My producers tell me just to do these weird rants that I do about nothing at the end of the show instead of in the middle, so we can cover all the bases. Let me know if you like that. 1, if you are gay and you like it. 2, if you're gay and you like it. And 3, if you're retarded and gay and you like it. Put it in the chat, please. We got $2 said you never folded under pressure, Elijah, from JAA66 White for you. I think you also said I think 99-cent random one as well. Let me see if I can find that here. A couple people here. Now, we are back live Monday through Friday, possibly through Saturday at 9 p.m. You're going to get a lot of different shows because sometimes I want to kill myself in Minecraft. I never would. I'm very mentally stable. Attention, Supreme Court of Florida and Texas. I love my life. But also, no, I'm just joking. I have a very sarcastic and dark humored show. But we're live, and we're this is actually our biggest live audience on YouTube and Rumble in the last 5 shows. So we're actually increasing every night, which is good, about 10 or 20 people. And we're hoping to work on that over the next 6 to 12 months and grow. We relaunched and we got the attention of a lot of people, right? We can watch and Media Matters and people talking about us. You launched a small audience. Yeah, because we're a new show and we're in a new place, a new studio. However, thank you to my guest today. Where'd that bitch go?
You threw her out.
Can you go to her shot with us? She's coming back in.
I'm Will Smith's wife. Without a wig, bitch. I'm Will Smith's motherfucking wife. Get my husband out your fucking mouth. Yeah, nigga.
All right. We're going to stop that now. That's very immature. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy that they said that.
That's crazy they said that. No N-words on this show. Hashtag. We don't say the N-word. We never say it.
We do not say nigga on this show.
Throw my heart out to all of you guys. Throw it out. I appreciate it. We have some good stuff coming up. If you want to follow me on X, you can follow me at Elijah Schaffer, ElijahSchaffer. Georgie, if they want to find you and follow you, where can they find you and follow you?
You can follow me at Sith Lord Groiper on Twitter. Follow me if you need to contact me. I really just post about the show, but that's for business. If you reach out to me there, I'll get back to you and we'll arrange something. If you want to come on the show, if you want to write for Rift, we're looking for writers right now. That's really important. We want to populate the website with at least 7 articles a day. So if you have articles you already write, that's kind of important. Send me 2 articles you've written just so I can read them and, look at the quality. And, if it's a right fit, then maybe you can write for Rift.
Yeah, and if you want to join our locals, ElijahSchaffer.locals.com, free to join. You can join. Oh, by the way, Dusty Boy, can you put some, you do that and cheers and confetti.
Fucking buttons are all fucked up.
And confetti. Thank you. Dusty Boy said, been watching for a while, won't stop. Keep up the work. That's awesome. Yeah, we got to 370 something tonight, which is actually pretty good. So we were at I think 160. I'm pretty happy about that. And then we're up to close to 370 tonight. So we're getting up there. We appreciate you guys. We're going to be live every night. It's an alternative show if you like the truth, but you also want to realize a few of you ask me what's been wrong with my voice. It's because I'm not doing drugs and I'm not abusing alcohol or anything, actually. And I'm smoking a lot of cigars and I am taking TRT. As Francis Moon calls it, a walking pharmacy. He's taking hair medication and TRT. Okay, Yoda, relax, nigga. Go suck a dick and relax, okay? That's good for that. We usually do a call-in at the end if you guys want to join on the Discord, but nobody joined tonight to give their opinion. So that's completely okay. I'll go ahead and I'll hang up there. But Tuesdays and Thursdays are call-in nights. So if you want to come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays and call in, you can always call in at the Discord. You can get it by joining the locals, ElijahSchaffer.locals.com. To the rest of you guys watching, we'll leave the chat on. We'll leave the music on. Have a great rest of the night. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.